yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson has made history by becoming the first black woman to be confirmed to the United States Supreme Court. Caitlin Huey-Burns is in Washington with more on this and new reporting on how the midterms could affect President Biden's ability to appoint judges. Caitlin, good morning. So let me ask you.
Good morning, Vlad. How are you?
What effect will Judge Jackson's appointment to the court have?
Well, immediately speaking, she's not going to change the makeup of the Supreme Court. She's filling a seat that was held by a justice who was appointed by a Democratic president. So the makeup of the Supreme Court is going to remain the same. But she does, of course, make history as the first black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. She's also has a background as a public defender, which really differentiates her from several of her colleagues. A lot of, she's went to Harvard. A lot of the justices went to Ivy League schools, but that public defender background could set her apart from the other justices with whom she'll serve.
So you wrote a piece for CBSNews.com about what could happen to the president's ability to nominate other future Supreme Court justices should the Republican Party win in the midterms. Explain that.
Yeah, so we've been talking to lawmakers all week about, what they've seen in terms of the breakdown of civility, really, during these judicial confirmations and kind of the breakdown of what used to be a really bipartisan exercise. Remember, years ago, Supreme Court nominees would get majority support from the Senate, and in recent years, it's been really razor-thin margins. So we have been asking the question, well, what happens if the president and the president's party is not in control of Congress? What is the future for nominees in that setting? And asking Republican lawmakers, we've been pretty hard pressed to get a straight answer about whether they would indeed take up a Supreme Court nominee. Just yesterday, Mitch McConnell was asked in an interview with Axios whether he would take up a nominee if Republicans are in control of the Senate and Biden has a vacancy to appoint during the rest of his term, and he wouldn't answer. I posed that question to Senator Chuck Grassley, who is the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, could become the chairman of that committee if Republicans take over. I said, would you take up a nominee from Biden if Republicans control the Senate? And he said, ask me on November 9th. I'm not going to count the chickens before they hatch. So there is this big question looming over all of this about what happens moving forward if the president's party is not in control of Congress. What does that mean for confirming nominees, not only to the Supreme Court, but also to judgeships around the country? That's something that we found in our reporting as well. There is this concern about the judicial nominees. Biden has had his nominees confirmed at a really rapid pace. He's had more nominees confirmed than his predecessors, going back to Reagan. But there is this question of what this means for the courts, given how divided government is becoming.
Caitlin, on another subject, let me ask you about several lawmakers and officials in D.C. who have tested positive for COVID-19 over the past few days, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senator Susan Collins. They both tested positive yesterday. What do we know about this outbreak?
That's right. Many members of Congress are reporting positive tests. Several senators, Nancy Pelosi, of course, was with Biden this week earlier. Biden has tested negative, and we'll see how he tests today. The vice president has tested negative. But there is certainly several lawmakers. And I can say that being up on Capitol Hill over the past several weeks, there really is no masking going on. It's optional still. Lawmakers are not wearing masks. People around the Capitol are not wearing masks. They have opened up the Capitol to some tours as well. And so that is something to kind of consider here. Now, Congress is going on recess today for 2 weeks. But, there is this question of, how fast this is spreading and whether those who are in close contact with the president, what that means. Susan Collins, as you mentioned, also tested positive. That means that she will not be at the White House today. She was one of the 3 Republican senators to cross the aisle to support Ketanji Brown Jackson, so she will not be at that ceremony that's slated to happen later today.
All right, Caitlin, thank you.